Welcome to day 6 of the Epic Growth Playbook. This is going to be the final day on how I went from 0 to over $100 million in sales. Keep in mind, we went over offer, lead nurture, lead generation, sales, client fulfillment, and now today is Ascension. All these videos are going to be posted on YouTube. They're going to be put in a private playlist, and you're going to have all the PDFs, scripts, emails, templates, text messages, calling, recordings, you name it, it's all going to be there. As I was saying earlier, today is all about Ascension. So the key thing is how you can double your revenue with no extra ad spend. And the way I've been able to stay in business for so long is even if I have a bad month or someone leaves or ad spend costs go up, if we're able to get back-end sales, ascend people into higher level or more expensive programs, good things can happen. And for those of you who have missed some of the previous days, keep in mind, in 2016, life can change very fast. 2016, I had $88.20 to my name. And fast forward to December of 2023, we've done over $100 million in sales. So let's even say at a 30% profit margin, you guys can start to understand the amount of money I've made and the impact it's had in my life. Now, moving on. We've worked with 50,000 clients to date. So as we go through this, the only reason I bring this up is so you know these are battle tested. They've been tried. They've been measured. There's nothing that's coming from a book. This is all being in the actual trenches. Now, what is Ascension? Ascension is moving a paying customer or client to another program. This is pivotal and vital in your business if you want to stay in business for a long time. If you don't get Ascension, it's really hard to stay in business because every month you're starting over from zero. The goal is we want to get as much recurring revenue as possible to make it a safer business. Now, the pillars of the different types of programs we have, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys through some of our different programs so you guys can get an idea and understand what we sell. Now, this slide is just so you guys can understand all the different types of offers we have. So first and foremost, in the middle, I'll use my mouse. This is Elite CEOs. So it's a B2B consulting company. We help people with high-priced service-based offers, typically. Stemming out from that, there's a one-to-one package where you can work with me privately for $200,000 for a year. Very few people take that, but there is a small portion. Then we have what we call ELA or Elite Launch Academy. This is brand new beginners. So if you've never started a business before, you've never made a sale, you've never done sales, you've never hired anyone, that's what this is for. Then we have over here, well, and I guess right in the middle too, for me to explain this better, Elite CEOs is our main core product. Okay, so that's why it's in the middle. And then we have different products. So this would be a downsell. We also have another company called Elite Closers where we actually train people to be sales reps and place them at other companies. So this is for people who want to make a lot of money, but maybe they don't want to be a business owner. Then we have Elite Ads, which is our ads agency, where we actually can run ads for business owners. Then we have Elite 360, which is our software. Then we have what we call Next Level 1, which is our higher level clients. So people who are usually trying to get to 25K plus, and then anything past 50K plus is what we call Next Level 2. Those are for our even higher level clients. So this is to give you an idea of all the different types of programs we have. Now, when you start a company, keep in mind, I don't want you to do this to start. If you're brand new or you got a couple employees, you're doing really anything less than 100,000 a month, this is not stuff you need to worry about. This is also why this is day 6, because out of everything we've taught you or that I've taught you, this is the least important. Now, moving into some of the different programs, what I want to do with you guys is I just want to walk you through some of our different offers and structure so that you guys can understand it. So right here, this is our Elite CEOs Mastermind. On the left-hand side, you can see what the 4 pillars of the program are, and then the deliverables are on the right-hand side. I'm not going to read through everything. You guys can do that right now as we're watching this. When these recordings come out, you guys can also pause it at that point and look at it. But what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is what are the deliverables and how do they work together? The goal, if I go back to the previous slide real quick, is that you want to make everything synergistic. So if someone comes into, let's say, Elite Launch Academy, and then they break 10K, then they would be in the mastermind. And then when they break 25K, they would go to next level. And then when they break 50K, they go to next level 2. We make it work that way. And it also helps us focus on the biggest needs for that specific client. Okay. So that is Elite CEOs Mastermind. This one right here is Elite Launch Academy. So Elite Launch Academy is for someone who's brand new. So you can see it's all about creating a product and gaining a client. So it's as simple as it gets. It's just, I've never started a business. What's my offer? And make a sale. That's the initial part of this program. On the bottom hand right, you guys could see the deliverables. Again, so you guys can start to understand and see how these work together. After that, we have next level mastermind 1. So this is to break the 25K mark. Again, on the left-hand side, you guys can see the pillars, what we're focusing on: automated inbound leads, team building, intellectual property, and then multiple offers with a price increase. And then the deliverables, it's a 6-month program, one-to-one coaching. We help build out their CRM. We have a 2-day mastermind event, 120-day trial of our software. They get VIP time, etc. So as it gets pricier and they need more help, it also increases the length of time and the deliverables that we're going to give to these clients. Once they get past 50K, they come into next level 2. So this is more about strategic operations, cloning yourself, authority ascension, and then events. This is our 1-year program. You'll get a one-to-one mentor. They have a 360 coaching pod with our highest level clients. That's usually 4 to 8 people. They have 4 in-person events. And then they also get a lot more strategy from our higher level coaching staff. Sometimes that's also including me, where I don't spend a lot of time anymore helping implement, but I spend a lot of time doing the strategy for a lot of our clients, especially our higher level clients who have bigger businesses, because obviously I built this company. And so I have a really good bird's eye view, and I can look down and tell them, hey, you need to pull this lever, move this thing. So that's next level 2. And that's really our main stuff right here, guys. So if someone started from scratch, we'd put them through Elite Launch Academy, depending on what they need and how much time. Then we would put them into Elite CEO's Mastermind, then next level 1, and then next level 2. So right there, we have 4 different products that we can use with someone, and that could keep them on as a client right off the bat. If they went through all of those, that could keep them on for 1.5 years just by doing those. Now, the other thing we did is we started doing done-for-you services, because a lot of our clients would come in and they say, well, I know how to run ads now, but can you do it? Or, hey, I know how to do sales, but can you hire someone for me? And so we don't usually advertise this on the front end. Front end means if you've seen some of my ads, you're not going to see me talk about this a lot, because these are higher level services. So typically it's going to be for business owners who have a little bit more revenue, and there's less of them out there who are seeing our ads. So the costs get really expensive. So typically this is a back end product where once they've been through our mastermind or some of our programs, we'll upsell done for you ad services. So that's Elite Ads. And then we have Elite Closers. And we actually have 2 offers for this. This is for sales reps who want to make more money and get placed in a high ticket service-based company. And we will also have business owners who pay us, who will ask us to place setters or closers inside their business as well. So those are the 2 different ways we can do it. And then we have Elite 360, which is our software. We try to get a lot of our clients on this. It's really cheap. It's $97 a month, and it replaces pretty much all the other software out there that clients might need to buy. So again, that's another thing that they could buy. And then finally, you have the private one-to-one coaching with me, which is the most expensive. It's $200,000 for a year, and that's going to be the least bought product. Now, the next thing I wanted to take you guys through is our hiring process. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to zoom out, and I want to take you guys through a little bit of what our hiring process looks like, just so you guys can get an idea. So first and foremost, what we usually do is we use LinkedIn. Now, there's a million things you can use, but we really like to use LinkedIn. Oh man, I really hope I don't have to do this. So let me see if I could get on another way, guys. Give me 1 sec. Let me stop sharing. I think I'm able to get on one of my other tabs. Just bear with me. This is how we usually hire people. Now you can use LinkedIn, Indeed, whatever. I love LinkedIn. And what we do is we actually pay LinkedIn about $700-800 a month for what they call a recruiter platform. And it gives us up to 5 job posts for any particular time. So right now you guys can see that we're looking for a COO. Let me actually pull up the ones that are up right now. Business coach, setter, COO, high ticket closer, media buyer. And we keep these up because what that allows us to do is make sure that we're getting enough applicants coming through so that if someone ever steps out or we need to replace someone, but it also actually drives us a little bit of business. It's very interesting. We've actually had a lot of clients who actually will see some of these job posts and then they decide to start a job or excuse me, start a business instead of actually take a job. It's very interesting. So first thing we do is we'll post on here. All right. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I won't take you guys through too much, but what you do is you just come up with a job post and then you can post it. Now, once someone tries to apply, it's going to take them to a type form. Now, you don't have to use type form. You can use whatever you want. But what we do, and the reason I'm showing you guys this is as you go through Ascension, you build your company, you're going to need to build a team. Okay. So what we use is we use type form. And what's cool about Typeform is we'll come in and this is for a business coach. So the things that I want to know is how much experience do they have? And the reason that's important is because the more experience they have doing the tasks that I'm trying to get them to do, the less things I have to teach them, which is better for the company. So for example, have they ever owned a business? If they have, that's going to make them a lot better coach. Which of these softwares have you used? If they've used them, it's going to make them better. What hiring or what experience do you have in online coaching? Do you have sales experience? How well do you know Facebook ads? Describe working with customers. Describe your abilities as working with the team. And then the big thing at the end is we'll have them upload recording. And then here they could do their resume. All right. And what I need to do here, actually, I really should change this. We can actually do it while we're live. Just do a short text. I'll just leave that for now. But it's actually easier if instead of them uploading something, they just put a loom. Okay. So that's how it looks. Now, what's cool is you can create what's called logic. And this is how it looks. So this one is all in a straight line. But what I could do is I could also make it where if, let's say on number 4, it's a yes or no question. If they put no, I could actually create logic where I can create a new option down here. So you guys see how I'm pulling that? I'm not going to actually create it. But it would say, hey, if they answer yes, they go to 5. If they answer no, they go here. And so it actually helps you disqualify people who are not the best fit. Lot better, lot easier that way. Once they actually get through the application, we'll take an interview with our recruiter. These are the questions I like to ask. I actually pulled some of these from Layla Hermosi. It's these main questions right here. So I'll start off by saying, here's what our company does. Here's the role and the expectations. What experience do you have? Then I ask them what it is that they want. What's your goals? What are you hoping to get out of this company? And I always like to ask how much they'd like to make. The reason for that is if you say, hey, how much would you like to make? And you're paying 10 grand a month and they say 30,000. Well, it's not even worth taking the interview farther because they're way out of your price range. If they say 5,000, what's cool is either A, now you don't have to pay quite as much, or B, you can work in a bonus incentive. So you say, hey, so what we'll do is we'll give you 5 grand a month. And we'll also give you bonus incentives up to 10K, right? So it can actually become a win-win for both parties when you know that. Again, I'm just showing you guys this briefly because as you scale and build your company, you're going to have to hire people. And if you don't learn how to do it now, it can be very painful in the long run. I've lost a lot of money by not hiring properly. And so I wanted to take you guys through that. So just to recap, you would go on LinkedIn, you make a job post, you go through a job application, and then you would take them through this interview. And then here's a big thing is give them a task to see, right, what they can actually do. Give them a stress test, right? So meaning when it's number 5. So either during the interview or after the interview, give them a stress test. So if it's a sales rep, I'll give them my scripts with recordings. Then we'll tell them to practice. And when they're ready, we'll give them a live sales call, usually a call we would cancel, and see how they do. If it's a media buyer, I'll have the media buyer come up with a campaign structure for XYZ offer. So I'll say, hey, come up with a campaign structure for a fitness offer, write the copy, make the images, etc. And you can pay them to do the stress test as well. So they're not working for free. But then if they don't do a good job, it's probably not a good idea to hire them. A lot of people will hire before they ever test someone out. And it's really not a great way to hire because the first time you see what they can do is when they've already been hired. And it's really detrimental to a company to bring someone on and then have to let them go later. Okay. If you guys have questions around that, let me know. I didn't want to spend a ton of time on it, but I did want to go through a little bit of our hiring process. So that is how we hire, and you can make it more complex or harder if you need to. The biggest thing that I find is how much experience do they have, and then giving them a stress test. And that saved me a lot of time and money. The next thing is then you want to have an org chart. So this is actually in Miro, M-I-R-O. And what we do is we put all our individuals here, and then we will actually attach to each person's name a hyperlink to their SOPs. And so I want to show you guys what those SOPs look like. So let me take you to like this. So we will have SOPs where what happens is we will have the person's position at the top. They will list out every single task, and then we split it into daily, weekly, monthly, and then even if they have yearly, we'll do those as well. There's monthly down here, boom. And then the way that you want to create the SOPs is you'll have a video or videos, between 1 to 3 videos. You'll list out all the tasks for that, and then you'll have a resource section underneath if needed. So this one didn't have resources. Let me show you one that does. This is an example of resources. So whatever is being shown in the video or in the steps needs to have resources underneath it, so that if any person comes into the company and needs to learn the job, they could go through this SOP sheet and know how to do the entire job in less than 2 hours. It makes the business safer, and it's really important you have this as you build your company, because as it gets bigger, you can see how big my company is here. This isn't even my entire team. There's a lot of moving pieces. So it's really important that you have those things. I didn't even realize, guys, I pulled off this PowerPoint, but the SOPs were on the very next page. So it looks just like this, right? So this is the example sheet I just showed you guys. We already went through how to find job candidates. And now I'm going to open up for questions. So just to recap really quick, the goal of today was to understand Ascension. So once they've come into your initial program, having other things to sell them. I took you through the things that we sell to our clients. And then I took you through how we try to hire and create an organization chart so that you can ascend people. Because at this point in my company, for example, guys, I can't do 80 to 90% of the work. So my team is a direct reflection of me. It's a direct reflection of my leadership. It's a direct reflection of my management. It's a direct reflection of my SOPs. And so I want to make those as clear and concise and cut as possible. Okay. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to open up the chat. I apologize, I didn't open it. So if you guys need to type something in the chat, you can start doing that. And then there are questions at the top. So let me go ahead and start with the questions. I think there's 3 that I see right now. And we'll start with Leon. So Leon said, what should be the ideal ROAS on ads when we're scaling? It should be 2x collected minimum. So if you spend $5,000, collect at least 10 or 10,000. If you're doing more than that, then keep spending. If you're not spending more, then you just don't like making money. Then you said, what should be the ROMAC to scale to 50K? Guys, scaling is just doing the same stuff faster. That's all it is. So if I make $1 million in a month versus 500,000, the only thing that changed is how fast we're spending money on ads and how many sales calls we're taking, how many leads we're talking to. That's all it is. So yeah, if you're at 34K a month and you want to make 50K a month and you're doing at least 2x collect on the ads, then spend more money and you'll do 50K a month. Now, if you start having issues after spending more, then it's usually a team issue. So you're not messaging as good. Your application costs went up. And then that's how you start finding the bottlenecks in the business. But I think I saw your ad numbers last time, Leon. You're good. Okay. Jesper, thanks for coming to all 6 days. Appreciate you. Alicia, you could definitely invite me to an event to speak. I don't usually do those, but more than happy to hear you out. Ivan said, can you delegate the CEO role? Yeah, you can. It didn't go very well for me. The reason being is that I didn't hire for experience. So that was my big mistake. And I didn't prep them properly. If you're going to hire someone to be a CEO, they should have been a CEO before, because there's so many things that have to happen as a CEO. You have to have your hand in so many different cookie jars. And most people just don't get that. So I wouldn't hire for a CEO unless they've had prior experience. That's super, super important. Patty says, at what point in the business do you suggest we hire someone? Should it be a VA or AP? Usually it's a coach. So an account manager or business coach or client success director, whatever you want to call it, because the thing that will take the most time needs to get off your plate first. And it's usually something that's less important. So for example, if you're just starting a business, the most important thing you can do as the owner is make sales. And so I don't want to hire out my sales first. I want to hire out my client fulfillment first. And it's usually easier to get someone to do that than it is to find someone who's good at sales. So usually I hire a coach or account manager or client success director, whatever you want to call them. It's all the same thing. Jesper says, if I'm selling 10K USD online courses for the first time, what would be a good close rate over the phone? It's 30%. So if you book 10 calls, including cancels and no-shows, you close 3 out of 10. So let's say I book 10, 3 don't show, 2 cancel, I take 5, I close 3. That would be ideal. Okay. I'm not saying that many people will no show or cancel, but 30% of total calls is what you're shooting for. Okay. Saul, for a fitness offer, when you start to hire, what roles would you hire for in sequence? Yeah. So, guys, it's a coach. So, take the fulfillment off. Then it's lead generation. So, the messaging component, because that takes the next most time. And then you do sales calls absolute last. I don't usually hire out sales until I'm over 100,000 a month because think about it. You're the CEO. You're going to sell better than anyone else. If you hire out the most important part of your business, the literal thing that keeps the business alive to someone else, not only is it an issue because typically if you're paying 10% of commission, you can't pay enough to get a good sales rep. But again, you're entrusting the success of your business to someone else way too soon. Now, I have sales guys now, but my sales guys will make 20 to 30,000 a month. So they're really good, right? But you got to remember, good people want to be paid more. So if you can't pay very much and you're making 40 grand a month and you hire a sales rep, there's not very many good sales reps that are going to want to work for you for 4 grand a month. Okay. So hopefully that's clear. What are the positions you hired? So we just went through that. It was at 20,000 a month is when I hired my first coach in my first position. How consistent should it be? Yeah. I mean, fairly consistent, because if you hire someone and then your revenue drops down again, then you may not need them. So I wait till the last second to hire. Some people like to hire a little before that, but I personally like to wait till the last second. Either works. It's just personal preference. If I hire a coach for client fulfillment, how much is suggested for payment? So when you're starting, I would pay per client, right? The safest thing for the business is to pay per client or to pay commission always. The issue is better people want salaries. They don't want to work like that. So what I start off when the business is small is I pay per client. And then once the pay per client is above the salary that I would pay, I just put them on salary. Okay, so let's say that I'm going to pay a coach $5,000 a month. I would start paying them. Let's say I pay them $200 a client. If it's B2B, it's more. If it's B2C, it's less. Let's say they have, I don't know, they're making $4,000 a month, and let's just say for sake of ease, they have 40 clients, and then they move up to 60 clients. Well, 60 clients, they're going to be at 6,000. So what I would do at that point is, now that they have a bunch of clients, I would just put them on a salary because it's cheaper to put them on a salary, than to pay per client. In the beginning of the business, when it's more volatile, I would just pay per client so that if you go up and down in revenue, then you're not paying too much to that fulfillment coach. Okay. When selling and scaling, how do you build quicker rapport and trust at a quicker speed? Run ads. If you run ads or they follow you, you can go straight into the conversation. Than if you're doing a cold DM. If you're doing a cold DM, there's no way around it. You have to build some rapport because they don't know who you are. Saul says, thoughts on hiring a VA for a fitness offer? I mean, unless they're I really don't see a benefit unless they're good at messaging. A lot of people have assistants, but you don't really need an assistant. You just need to work, and you need to do the work because you're going to be better than anyone else. Once you're making money, then you start hiring people. And then, a VA, when I hear a VA, they need to be good at messaging. A lot of people will go hire someone from South Africa and expect them to be, super dirt cheap and just as good as an American. It doesn't always work that way, right? So the big thing is, don't skimp on pay to save a little money, because you actually end up losing more than if you just paid premium for a good worker, okay, or a good employee, okay, contractor, however you want to put it. What was your greatest sale? Probably anyone who's paid me 200 grand. Those have been my best sales. So anyone who's paid me 200 grand. And I think that's it. If you guys do need help and you want to work with my company, at this point, you guys should know how. You can go to elitecos.com. That's not the reason I did this, but everything you guys have seen in these videos, that's what we do with clients, right? We just do it at a more granular level. We're working with them one-to-one. We talk to them. We get on calls. We bring them to in-person events. And this is what I like to do. I really enjoy business. It's really changed my life. I like making money. I like having an impact with people. I know how it feels to be poor, and I know how good it felt when I made my first 10K, my first 100K month, and I made $1 million in a month, and I became a multimillionaire, and I paid off my parents' house. And there's a lot of cool things I've been able to do. And that's why I keep staying in the game. When this comes out, all I would ask, if you guys can just share it with someone. Just share it with someone who, wants to build a business, maybe doesn't know where to start. Maybe they don't have a lot of money. Maybe they're on their last straw. What I would encourage you guys to do is just to keep going. I want to leave with one final thing, because I think this is so true. When I was starting my business, I started back in 2000, I want to say 2000-ish, 14. So I was 22 at that time. Yeah, 22. Yeah, 22. Yeah, I was. I can do math. And from 22 to 25, I made $2,000. So over 3 years, I made less than $700 a year working on a business 6 hours a day. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't hire a mentor. I had a lot of ego, a lot of pride. And I got close to quitting about 4 times. And I didn't know that at the time, but now that I've done 100 million in sales and, I'm living the life of my dreams and don't have to worry about money again and have had 50,000 clients, it's crazy to think that I was almost the guy on the second, on the bottom, right, of this picture. I was that close to quitting. And if I quit, I'd be making, probably 100,000 a year as an engineer. And I'd have an okay life, but I would have nowhere near the life I have now. Not even close. And a lot of you who are trying to build a business or you have big dreams and aspirations, I genuinely believe that as long as you don't quit, you'll get there. Maybe you have less skill than someone else. Maybe you don't have the right aptitude or whatever it may be. And some people are better at those things. Some people have more skills and are better at sales or maybe are better at marketing. But what I want to let you know is that you're not going to regret not hitting the goal. You're going to regret not trying. And I can tell you, after making a lot of money, money will not make you happy. It's about the journey. It's not the destination. And I know that's easy to say, maybe hard to hear, especially when you're not making a lot of money. I used to think, oh, that's just what poor people say. That's actually what I would say. When someone would say that to me, I'm like, oh, you're just poor. And some people that is true. But what I can tell you is, because I've become wealthy, is that if you're doing this just to make a lot of money and thinking that that money is going to make your life better, it won't. But what I'll tell you is what you're going to learn building a business and the personal development that is going to come with it is exponential. And I've learned more about myself and grown more as a person doing difficult things. I've never grown doing easy things, taking the easy way out. And I'm not saying that means your whole life you have to be crazy and work all the time. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, though, is that the goal, in my opinion, of life is to become the best version of yourself. And the only way you can do that is by doing difficult things. And a lot of people walk away right before they're about to hit diamonds. And so for some of you, you might hit diamonds after this. I hope you do. Some of you, this won't be enough. This will be a good start, but free content may not be enough for you. You might have to hire someone. For some of you, maybe you already have a good business, but you want to get to 100,000 a month, or you want to get to 1 million a month. Everyone's having their own journey. There's no point in comparing yourself to others, but I just want to encourage you not to give up. Don't be the guy on the bottom of this picture. Be the guy on top and just keep going, because I'm telling you, it's always worth it in the end. And sometimes you don't know why you're going through what you're going through, or why it's been so tough, or maybe why you got the short end of a stick versus someone else. But I can tell you that bad times are necessary to enjoy the good ones. Success wouldn't feel so good if it was easy. It feels so good because you know what you put into it, how much effort it took you to get there. And so for those of you who showed up all 6 days, well done. Like, you're putting in the work. For those of you who have a business, you're trying to scale it and you're here learning, a few of you are making 30, 40,000 a month. That's a lot of money for a lot of people. And you're still here because you want to improve. Some of you, you're trying to quit your job and you don't know how to start. Just keep going, right? I won't say the words, but like right here, that's what this picture means to me. And whenever things get tough, I really try to remember this picture, because every time I'm about to quit something, this picture always comes to my mind. And I have bad days too. And I know that's hard to believe. I know sometimes you'll think, hey, rich people don't have problems, but you just have a new set of problems. And so I don't want you guys to think of this as doing this to reach a certain place. I want you to do it because building a business is a personal development vehicle disguised as a money grab. People start businesses thinking that they want a bunch of money to become wealthy, and it does make your life easier. But the real gift is you become a person that you never could have become without obstacles. And business gives me so many obstacles on a daily basis, where I'm able to practice patience. I'm able to practice kindness. I'm able to push myself mentally, physically, emotionally. It's made me a better person, and I have a lot of deficiencies, so I need to be pushed a lot because I still have a lot to overcome as a human being. And as I've become more mature and I've had more success, I've realized there's so much more that I can improve on. And that's what I'm chasing. So take that for what it's worth, guys. Again, thanks for being here for the past 6 days. For those of you who missed any of the days, don't worry. Again, it'll be posted on YouTube in a playlist, and you guys will have all the PDF scripts and everything that comes with it. I hope this was helpful, and you guys can take this and run with it and have a bunch of success. And as always, if you guys need more help or you need any help from elite CEOs, feel free to check out our website or just message me. And guys, I didn't do this to get paid anything, so I really do hope, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, that some of this can help you. And I wish I had met someone like me when I was starting, because I just needed someone who could just share the proper path. And for those of you who are willing to do the work, this could be groundbreaking. For those of you who aren't, it's not going to really matter. Like, if you're willing to put in the work, this is exactly what I did to get to 100 million. And if you do the work, amazing things will happen to you. If you have 10% of my success, you'll live an extraordinary life. And so I don't think I'm anyone special. I just refuse to lose, and I just do my absolute best so that when I die, I can look back and feel good about what I've done and what I came into the world. So hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.